You better smile.
I'm smiling.
I don't think that what you're doing constitutes a smile.
I don't like smiling.
Christian, you leave me with them. Look at what happens.
I don't like smiling. I used to have buck teeth as a kid.
I
But
think you have a
now-
really pretty smile. You should smile.
Yeah, but my nickname for my family, they call me Wabby.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Why?
Because I had super big buck teeth. So
But
No,
why
you do not.
Wabby?
Yeah.
that's just how they pronounced it. But
Wabby
it's short,
Rissa?
No,
How do you
nobody
end up
calls
with
me-
Wabby?
Nobody calls me Rissa
How do you end up with Wabby?
because I look like a rabbit.
Oh, like Wabbit.
Wabbit.
A
Why don't they
wabbit.
just call you Wabbit?
Because they have
Wabby.
Way funnier.
They have Trinidadian accent, so it just sounds like that. I guess I don't know. I don't know
Oh.
why they say it like that.
Ow.
I didn't.
Row.
I didn't eat carrot cake my whole childhood.
Were you like deprived or?
No, I just every time one time I tried to eat carrot cake, they're like, "Oh, you're eating carrot cake, Wabby," and I was like, and I never ate it again. I was like, "Fuck you guys."
That's actually really funny. I commend them in this story now. Anyway, we're back. In case you guys don't know, two Baltimorons or the Baltimorons. Now we got a whole new crew this week. Mykala, Marissa, and Nick. Welcome,
Yeah.
Nick.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the podcast. You come from Olney as well.
Olney.
How close to live in Olney?
We're probably like 5 minutes. It's probably a 5-minute drive.
Okay.
So
And you enjoyed living in a DC suburb?
it's I guess you could say it's DC suburb. I'd say it's center Maryland.
Would you say it's a Baltimore suburb?
It could be both. It takes me probably 45 to get to DC, 45 to get to Baltimore.
That's what
so-
I said. Liv was vehement to the contrary.
Yeah.
It's not a Baltimore suburb. I'm like, well, then call yourselves a Frederick suburb and call it a day.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I just say it's central Maryland. You can get at 45 minutes of Frederick, 45 minutes of DC,
true.
45 minutes of Baltimore.
Do you live there now?
I live there now. So I just bought a house about a year in August. So
In Olney?
in Olney.
You chose that.
I chose that.
Yikes.
Location, right? Appreciation. So
I mean, I actually commend it because I bucked the trend and didn't buy in downtown, like, you know, your first house, downtown, young, bar scene, whatever. So I do get that. But Olney is just far.
it's far. But
And it is beautiful, but it's far.
I mean, it's just a place that like I have a routine. I have my network there.
Yeah.
So if I ever need to go anywhere, I mean, I can just get in the car and drive. Like I said,
True.
45 minutes, go get meetings. My company, we have offices all over, so it's pretty easy to just go work out of a place, and then I can meet
Note
people
that
there for the
Olney
day.
actually exists.
Should visit one time. Good stuff there.
There's nothing there but houses. Like there's
True. As a
Not
matter of
true,
fact,
though.
the first California tortilla I ever went to was in Olney.
It's a good
the
one.
first California tortilla. What?
Have you ever been to a California tortilla?
No. What is
Oh,
a
well, there you go.
California
See?
Oh, I was
tortilla?
gonna say,
That's
what
the
do you
first-
mean you've been to a
It's
California
like a-
tortilla?
Chipotle.
It's like a Chipotle, like a one step above Chipotle, but not like a Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
So what is- so-
how do you rate it in comparison to Chipotle?
2 different styles.
Is it like a Qdoba too?
Qdoba.
Cute.
Isn't that how you say it?
Qdoba.
You guys say Qdoba?
Qdoba?
Qdoba.
Qdoba?
Quidoba. Quidoba.
Qdoba.
So Qdoba to me is like it's like a ripoff of Chipotle.
Yeah.
And it's got like more features and like we've got guac and we've got cheese and we've got this and that and the other, and Chipotle's kind of like caught up to that, but it's just a different style of cooking. I think Cali Tort is like flavors and
What kind
Cali
of food
Tort.
is it? You said it's not Mexican food?
Tex-Mex.
it is Mexican.
Oh.
It's Tex-Mex is a better way to say it.
Tex-Mex?
It is the Tex-Mex version of Chipotle.
I want to try it now.
It's very good.
It's awesome.
I'm
I mean,
intrigued.
have you guys had Moe's before? I would say like those are 2 similar
Yeah.
comparison.
See, I don't like Moe's.
Moe's is more like tacos.
I
Yeah.
would say Moe's is like Qdoba.
Right.
Qdoba. How do you guys say it?
I
Qdoba.
agree. Moe's is
I've never had Moe's.
Quadoba.
However
right?
you say it.
How does the Wabbit say it? Quadoba.
Qdoba. Qdoba.
Yeah, so I actually used to work for Rupert Landscape
Yeah.
on
I
108.
know him pretty well.
And so I was there and there's nothing else out there. And so you just go straight down 108 to that shopping center there and then
What's growing? They Lone Oak Brewery. I don't know if you've been there. They got
Nope.
a good brewery there, so that's like a good hangout spot. And they just actually, because they brew their own beers, they just started doing liquor. and build a speakeasy
Damn, that's cool.
on the property.
So you're
this is
saying
cool.
we need to have an event there?
You're saying there's another brewery out there.
Brookville Beer Farm.
Yes, that wasn't the one I was thinking of. Shoot,
That looks nice.
There's
What is
Wardeca.
Wardeca
Yeah.
was the one.
That's like in the woods.
Yeah.
You can go sit in the woods and
But Wardeca is cool because it's like literally a horse farm.
Yeah.
You can actually
Ooh.
go and hang out with the horses.
I want to go and hang
I
out with
want to
horses.
do that.
My cousins worked there, and I think they might have met there. I don't even know, but now they're married. So,
Oh,
anyway, so now you're in lending,
I'm in lending.
and how do you like it?
I like it. I mean, I would say I kind of like grew up in the business. So both my dad and his older brother, who got my dad into the mortgage business, were in the mortgage business over 30 years ago. My dad's still in it, and he works in the secondary market.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, just always listening to his phone calls on car rides to the beach, or listening to his phone calls on car rides to games. He pretty much was like, during COVID, rates were low. There was a big boom in one of his clients, because his clients are mortgage companies. He's in that secondary market. They were like, we need some help. Phones are ringing off the hook. Like, do you know anyone that wants to come like assist us? So I started off as an intern, LOA, answering phones, and then I started studying for my license with the training there. Got licensed, and then the rest is history, really. So,
How long have you been
Wow.
licensed?
4 years
4 years.
this month.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Nick was
so-
my first lender friend. that I
My
ever
first
met.
There
lender
you go.
friend.
Yeah.
your first
Okay.
coffee.
Yeah. Oh, he was.
How did you guys
Same
meet?
with Steph. Steph with
We met through
title.
Steph.
Yeah.
Okay, how did
So-
you meet Steph?
We love you, Steph.
Me and Steph met on Instagram. We had coffee, and then she was like, hey, I think I reached out to her because she was like, hey, you should reach out to her. And we reached out, and we all three got happy hour and put on our first event together, which was like a headshots and happy hour event.
That's cool. Did you have a
Yeah.
lot of people show up?
I think
There
like
was a good
20.
amount.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Everyone got headshots, hung out, had some happy hour.
Should
that
be
the
careful
one
how
with the
hard you say
puppies?
that.
Yes.
Oh, I wanted to go to that so
That's
bad.
not headshots. That's puppy
It
shots.
was, but
Well, it's
but
not
there
with
was
your puppy.
There was
You could-
puppies there.
You could bring your puppy, but it wasn't. Thank you. I tried to do that earlier, but I didn't want you to yell at me. for
Muscles.
messing
Sound the
with it.
same.
Muscles.
I lost my train of thought.
There
Puppy
was
shots.
puppies.
There were puppies. There was happy hour. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a good
That's
time.
cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I think I commented on your post. I didn't even know you.
That's
It's
when
like,
around the time when we met on Instagram.
Okay.
we all met on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, Nick, I'm curious to your expertise. What's the number one thing that you would give to all first-time home buyers, if you could? Like, hey, this is one thing that you need to know.
I mean, one thing
You're
I
up
need to know.
next. Think about it.
The one thing I say you need to know is how you get qualified, right? So it's basically based off of your debt to income
So
ratio.
boring.
That's
Okay.
That's the one thing I would say that you need to know, because everyone's going to ask, like, well, we just want to know what we qualify for. And then they're going to say, well, do you need to pull my credit? Well, yeah, and here's why.
Yeah.
We got to know what all your monthly debts are, because otherwise you're going to go look for a house. And I can't take your word for what you have in the debt column, because there's a lot of things that people don't know that they have.
Right.
I mean, I've pulled people's credit reports, and they had more credit than they had, and they had a worse credit score because they're like, we make our payments on time. Well, I had someone recently who's like, oh, I have a 700 credit score. It was 498.
Damn.
They didn't know that they had all their student loan payments were getting like charged, and they didn't know they were supposed to pay them. They thought it was still deferred
Wow.
for about a year.
That
Oh, yeah.
I
Of
met
late
somebody
payments.
screwed a lot of
recently
people over.
That happened too.
That screwed a lot of people
Almost
over recently.
every single tenant
Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
had apply for a property has had late payments on rent. And it's like, it's gotten to the point where I'm talking to landlords and they're like, oh, I only want to accept a 700 credit score. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about number anymore.
Yeah.
I want to look at what they're actually late on and what's going on in their, and if you want to focus on the number, that's fine. But if they had a good credit score, they'd be buying a house. So let's
Yep.
look beyond that,
Right.
But it's every application. I can't remember the last time we got a good, clean application.
And another thing I would say is, like, besides like how you qualify, because again, like you said, that's boring. It's more like, what are your goals? Like, I want to get into what are your goals. If it's someone who's like, well, I'm going to live here for a few years and then rent it out, it's like, okay, then you're probably looking in more of like a city area, because that you want that good rent.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna buy in
ROI.
like Hagerstown or like Frederick in the middle of nowhere on a land where you're not gonna maybe get a renter or
Right.
a good renter in there. If you buy in
Right.
a city, it's like, that's an area where you can get good cash flow. Or if it's someone who's like, I want long-term goals, well, I'm like, this is where you talk to your agent and you kind of find out where's somewhere that you're seeing like a lot of appreciation or a good area that's up and coming.
Are you pushing that conversation back to the real estate agent? Like, are you
Yeah.
saying, hey, go to your real estate agent, here's 5 questions I want you to ask?
I'm not giving them 5 questions. I'm giving the feedback. I'm giving the feedback to the real estate agent.
I'm on Do Not Disturb. It rings and then it goes away.
Oh.
There we go.
Meow, meow. I'll turn the volume off.
Yeah, it's so rude.
Sorry.
We're
Who would
doing-
call me during podcast recording time?
We're doing something
We're
right
doing
now.
something. What would be the first thing that you would tell a first-time home
Well,
buyer?
he stole all the answers.
I have mine. Christian
The
knows
first thing-
mine.
I have
The
mine.
first thing that I would tell them, or
The
the
best
first
thing.
thing that they should do.
The best thing that you would tell them.
The best
Like, you could
thing?
tell them 50 things, but you're like, that's the one you need to remember.
Not to buy a car after they get pre-approved.
Yikes. Has that happened to you?
Yes. That's
No,
happened to me.
no, but I hear about it all the time.
I got so good at telling people not to buy a car that I had a buyer call me and he goes, hey, what do you think if I bought a car before settlement next week? And I go, don't do that. And he goes, all right, wait. What if my dad pays for it, but I'm on the title? And I go, is your dad paying cash? And he goes, oh, yeah. I go, okay, perfect. So then he pulls up and like parked in front of the window that we were settling at with a brand new truck. And he walks into settlement. And he tells his lender like, hey, Nick, you like my truck? And he's sitting there like sweating the entire time. But yeah, I mean, I got so routine about telling people not to do it.
Yeah.
I actually had someone that got into a car accident, and her name's Kirby. I love Kirby. And I went, hey, Kirby, what's up? You know, she's like, oh, I'm running late, whatever. I'll be over there in a bit. And we're looking at a property. We weren't even under contract at this time. And she pulled up in like a different car. And I was like, whose car is that? And she goes, oh, it's my brother. He's driving me. And I was like, why? And she's like, I got in a car accident. And I was like, oh, that sucks. We weren't even like under contract. So I didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to be like, don't buy a new car,
Yeah,
you
that
know?
sucks.
But she goes, but yeah, I can rent a car, right? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I want to buy a house and you told me not to buy a car. So I can rent a car and that won't be a problem. I go, well, I mean, no, I guess. And she literally rented a beater car for a month and a half until she bought that house. It was that house that she bought, which is kind of cool.
I
Oh,
love
that is
that.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
So the more you tell them, that's good advice. What would be yours?
Do not waive the inspection, no matter what.
Why?
I agree.
I don't think I think that's a really bad idea. I think especially for a first-time home buyer, they are going to have that idea that maybe they don't need an inspection for the rest of their properties. Or they're not going to know how to read it because their next agent or whoever, hopefully it's me, but
I feel like
not gonna
we're in a
explain it to
safe
them.
place here, right? Like anyone that watches this podcast, for the 2 people out there that pay attention, I feel like we're in a safe place. I vehemently disagree with you. Actually,
really? Can I hear your answer why? I want to know why.
I would never tell a buyer that I'm working with, don't get a home inspection. First of all, it's contrary to our professionalism. It's contrary to supporting the other people in our business. It's contrary to kind of just like good common sense. So I would never take on the liability of telling a buyer not to get a home inspection.
Oh, neither would I.
But I've got to tell you, where home inspections were when I started in the business, I remember the guy's name was John. John would come into the house and he would look at everything. He'd do all the same things that we do today. They had just gotten into like computerized tablet home inspections. But if the door was squeaky, John pulled out a screwdriver and like, this is how you tighten up the door so it stops squeaking. Like it was a full on, let me show you about your house. And yes, of course, there were problems and there was negotiation and all of that stuff. But now, it was probably like 7 years ago. It was pre-COVID. And I remember the buyer, I remember the house, and I remember the home inspector. And he goes, so everything looks really good. I can't get into the electric panel and I can't check the water shut off. But it looks really good. And I was like, what do you mean you can't get into the electric panel? And he goes, well, it's over there behind that shelving unit. And so like, shelving unit with things on the shelves. Mm-hmm. All you had to do was like slide it away from the wall. Well, he wouldn't touch it because liability. And I'm like, liability is the electric panel that's behind it that you're not checking.
Right.
Because you won't move someone's like thing. And I understand we don't want to break anything, but like, come on, man. This is your whole purpose
Yeah.
of being here.
Yeah, get paid good money.
So there's a middle ground somewhere. And the middle ground is found far too often in the buyer feeling like they deserve to have these things fixed rather than I want to understand what I'm buying. So
Yeah.
an example would be if you go into a store and you bought a pair of shoes and then you got home and they were scuffed, you would go back to the seller and you'd be like, hey, I want you to fix this. brand new shoes, go back to seller. Makes perfect sense. If you were to buy a 100-year-old pair of shoes and they had like a scuff mark on them, I don't think it's reasonable for the seller to be expected to fix that scuff.
Right.
They still walk, they still move, they still look the part. Isn't that what we're buying? So I wouldn't say we should tell first-time home buyers to abandon home inspections. I would never say that.
Right.
But I wouldn't say don't, because what if you're in a competitive situation? What
I
if your
was just
dad is a
thinking
home
in
repair
that
guy? What
instance.
if, what if?
It depends on the house, too.
I feel like even in a competitive instance, I wouldn't recommend it. Because
I've
then
done
if
it
they're only
before.
accepting people that aren't, or that are waiving an inspection, what if something's wrong with the house? You're not going to know. You've already bought it.
True.
Then your seller's going to come, or your
True.
buyer's going to come pissed at you. Like, why did you do this? Why'd you
Well,
tell me to
that's
do
why
that?
you have
So,
them sign something, or you
I'm
said
gonna
something.
Well,
put
yeah.
a caveat, like a little semicolon caveat here, right? I like your statement. Protect the buyer at all costs. Love that. I also feel really confident in the knowledge that I've gained over
Yeah.
the years in electrical from my brother, who's an electrician, in plumbing from my plumber, in HVAC problems that I've had on my properties, for buyers' properties, and understanding and learning about these tools so that I feel confident in walking through the home and saying, hey, look here, I can diagnose the age of the HVAC unit. I can tell them this is a high efficiency unit. This is what I see. This, weep hole is actually going to condensate, which comes from the air conditioning. It goes down into this little pump in the condensate pump. And what happens is the condensate pump line gets congested. So like I feel confident in my ability to give them that value.
That makes sense.
I love
Then
that for
I
you.
feel like a home
Yeah.
inspector is like,
but
I'm not there yet.
I'm just a girl.
I'm not there yet.
I feel that, but I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl. Somebody needs to dub that over.
Pay
I'm
that
just a girl
$400 and
in
get
the
this
world.
somebody to come in here, tell you that, and then write it down and send it to you. So that, because like you'll tell like you could do all that, tell
That's
somebody
true.
that, and then 3 days later they're like, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know. And
So I think in summary, there's ways to be competitive, right? Have that home inspector come in before, you make an offer.
Yeah.
And walk and talk with them so that you feel confident. There's ways to say, hey, look, if your dad is going to come and your dad is confident and you don't need XYZ, then bring him. Don't bring him after the fact. Like, bring him to the showing. It'd be the same thing as like, hey, by the way, my dad's a mortgage lender. And you're like, well, why are we not on the phone with him right now?
Right.
Like, why are we not talking to the person that's going to have the questions and make the decisions? But in a competitive situation, it's a way to be really set yourself apart. And I've got to tell you, most of the people that are buying second and third homes, they go, pfft.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that step is broken, and my step in my house is broken. And like, man, power washing a deck sucks, but like I just did it at my house getting ready to list my home. I can do it here. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes less concerning, whereas, possible presence of mold, moisture, mildew on the deck because it hasn't been power washed is really scary to a first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
So
That's why
How
you
do you
just have to
feel?
be sure to explain.
I mean, I'm going to say like the pre-inspection thing is if someone's worried about it and you have to be competitive. I know I have a lot of buyers who agents are like, we're just going to do the pre-inspection and waive inspection on it.
Are
Just
you
taking
guys
it
doing
before.
anything like, I know lenders are doing pre-underwritten and all kinds of crazy things to move their buyers down the pike?
I mean, yeah, we can do the pre-underwritten approval and just submit it as a TBD. But I mean, a lot of the time, if you have all the documentation, I mean, I really just review it with my underwriter before. So that way I know and I can say, hey, this is what we're going to need based off of what the documentation you provided me. So
Yeah.
in case you do, I would start to gather this documentation now.
And especially first-time home
wish
buyers.
everybody
Many
did
first-time
that.
home buyers are easy, right? You've got a car loan, you've got an income, maybe you have a secondary income of some sort, and then there's probably not a lot more documentation that you guys need.
No, W-2s, pay stubs. It just gets tricky when there's self-employment and things like that, but there's nothing that we really can't get around or can't do to
Yeah.
make sure it works out. As long as the
Interesting.
documentation is provided.
Interesting.
Love that.
Do you know what mine is? My
What?
first-time home buyer thing?
No.
My first-time home buyer thing will never, ever, 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 ever change. It's just buy the biggest piece of shit you can afford.
Oh.
Hands
yeah, I
down.
do know that.
It's not even a question. It's whatever you can afford, just buy it. Like in 6 months' time, you're going to regret not buying that house. In 6 months' time, when the interest rates fall and the prices go up, you could refinance, but now you're competing at a higher price. In 6 months' time, when the market crashes, as they've been saying for the last literally 7 years, it's like, cool, 7 years ago, if you bought a house, I bet you're not worried about the market crash. You know what I mean? Like, come on. There's never been a better investment than real estate in the last 30 years, over 30 years. So you Bitcoin people, I don't want to talk to you, right? Like, I understand there's good short-term investments, and hopefully Bitcoin and stablecoin will get to a place where they are a better investment. That's fine. I don't have any problem absorbing that. But since like 1940, whatever, that they've been tracking, there's never been a better investment than real estate. And so for most of us that don't have $500,000 to put into something, we have, $2,700 a month, and that buys you a $500,000 house. Don't quote me on that. Don't know. Right. But we have the $2,700 a month, and that's going to create an equity for us that otherwise we just can't afford. So buy the biggest piece of shit you can afford as early as you can afford it. And if you could do it at 18, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah, I knew that. I should have known that.
I say that all the time.
I know. That's why when you asked me, I should have known.
And the other thing is, you can always, the beautiful thing about having equity and having a property, you can access that equity when you need to, whether it's a home equity line or cash out.
True.
Or if you need to sell it. I mean, I had a buyer that I closed with someone 2 years ago, and he decided he wanted to go nomad and go around the country in an RV and live in an RV, sold his house.
I love
made
that.
$30,000 in 2 years.
I love that.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend in Chicago that he argues pretty aggressively that real estate is the most liquid asset you can own. I don't know that I really agree with him, but I understand his premise. His premise is that we could sell it at any time, in any minute, to anyone. If you want to make more money, it might take a little bit longer. If you want to make less money, you could sell it tomorrow. But I understand his premise. His premise is like, this is a very liquid asset that you can reach into and attain anytime you want. Also, on that topic, if we were going to go deeper on my perspective, I really, really don't like when I'm working with a buyer that doesn't push their envelope. And I don't want to advise a buyer, so I never tell them this, but let's just say that you have that borrower that makes like 94 grand. They just got out of college. They're doing X, Y, and Z. That's a good job. You're going to move on in life. And your lender comes to you and says, hey, look, man, you can really get pre-approved for anything you want, right? Like, here's a 400, 600, whatever the number is, pre-approval. And then they go, I just want to buy a 200. And I'm great. As your real estate agent, I am the most supportive human being on the face of the planet. Like, I would never sell you something that you don't need. But I also know the potential that you have. It's like the potential that's built up in that pre-approval for what it could do. And if your $200,000 house grows by 10% over the course of X amount of years, that's 20 grand. But if your $600,000 house grows by the same 10% over the same amount of years, you just made yourself 40 grand more just by pushing the envelope farther.
Yeah.
And I wish that more people would push the envelope farther.
I don't think a lot of people understand that. How you explained it right there was perfect, but I feel like a lot of people don't get that explanation.
I think that
It's just flickered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's raining cats and dogs.
I think that it's a real challenge balancing coming from this place of like fiduciary responsibility and managing your personal like ethical position. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of real estate agents that be like, you can afford it. And the old adage was always like, you're always going to make more money. You're never going to make less. Right? Because you're going to get promotions, you're going to get raises, you're going to get whatever, you're going to make more. So push today, you're going to make more. It'll be fine. I don't like being that person. So I don't want to walk around with Tom and Sally and be like, you guys are fine. What I will do is when Tom and Sally go, we found this really beautiful house. It's $240,000. We really love it. And then the other person says, I found one for $260,000. And person number one goes, that's too much. And I go, come on, Tom. If this is the thing that makes your wife happy, right? Like, let's look at this objectively. You can afford it. So I don't want to be difficult and I want to encourage you, but I do want to give you the opportunity to be open to the mindset. Right. Like, I will have that conversation with him, but I'm never going to say, you guys can go to 400. Like,
No.
I remember it was probably, you've been licensed for 4 years. So it's probably somewhere in the last couple of years. There was a rule law, don't really understand it, that said that the lender wasn't supposed to communicate to the real estate agent the pre-approval amount or something.
What?
I never heard of the law about that at all, but I know that
I don't know.
there's something that like I've had buyers be like, I don't want my realtor to know my max amount because they had a comfortable payment, right?
Yeah.
So I'll sometimes ask what their comfortable payment is, and I'll say, this is the price that you're like, what your max comfortable and what you're comfortable at.
I
That's
feel
what
like
I
that's
tell
a
people,
that's
too.
an education problem. Like I always ask, Marissa does too. I've heard her on the phone, like, hey, what are you guys comfortable spending?
Yeah, I do that all the time.
And they'll always be like, and they'll say something like off kilter, like 500 grand. And I go, cool. How did you come up to that number? And they'll be like, whoa, that's just where I think we could. What's a comfortable monthly payment? They're like 1,900. I'm like, those two things don't go hand in hand, right? Like,
Not at all.
let's
you buy
have a
down
come to
your rate?
Jesus moment
Yeah.
here. But I've had other people that go like, oh, I'm comfortable spending $4,500 a month. And you're like, do you know what that would qualify you for? And they go, no, I have no idea. And sometimes when you tell them what that would qualify for, like, let's just pull up this random listing at this random price and break it down. This is what I think it might qualify you for. They go, whoa, that's way more than what I was looking at. Well, what were you looking at? Oh, I was looking at 300 or 350 or 4. I want to buy in Canton. Like, you could get a nice house in Canton for that price.
Yeah.
And then
Fight people, but yeah.
but then you can educate the consumer. So I think I've never had that issue where the borrower says to the lender, like, don't tell my agent. I think probably because we're setting the expectation on the front end
Right.
before they're even connecting with you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I also have gotten into situations with the big banks, like, not to throw anyone under the bus, but, you know, all the FBIs, like all those companies, all the military companies
Right.
that
Yeah.
like have advertisements that are like acronyms and names.
Right.
There you go. Thank you. Where they're like, oh, sir, we cannot talk to you because you do not have the social security number of the buyer. And
I
you're like,
remember that happened to you. I was like, what?
I've never
What?
heard of that.
oh yeah. Like to the point that we were at,
Yeah, I remember
we
that.
were at the
Insane.
position of like, we had a closing disclosure and the buyer was like, yeah, can you call my loan officer? And I was like, yeah, sure. No problem. So then the buyer gave me their social security number and I was like, okay, so I call back in and I'm like, I got all the information. And they go, no, we cannot talk to you because you don't have, you're not the buyer.
I
I'm
would
like,
laugh
okay,
so
hang up,
hard.
pick up. Hi, my name is the buyer. And they go, oh, what's the social security number? And I give it to them and they're like, oh, what do you need to know? And I'm like, what a stupid system this is.
That's
So-
insane.
That's a joke.
They didn't even verify the phone number.
Yeah, but like, it's just weird because in the end of the day, the borrower wanted my help, or I should say I offered my help and the borrower was willing to take it. So why, I guess overprotection is a good thing. So
I just don't understand why a loan officer wouldn't even pick up the phone for a real estate agent, or it's supposed to be a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
That's
they're,
my fault.
You're supposed to be calling
they're
me.
the companies,
Yeah.
like, and that's how they do business. And as I tell all of our clients, like, they must be successful. They're putting out, television commercials during the Super Bowl and I'm not. So they've got to be doing something right. But,
Dude,
for me.
One time I had a client who just couldn't figure something out with her bank or whatever. And she had to do it through the app. And she just wouldn't do it. She just couldn't do it. She didn't know what she was. And so the loan officer literally was like, what is your bank account information? What's your password? I'm just going to do it for you. And then you
Yeah.
can change it.
We're not
And-
going to talk who that loan officer is or anything, but that's
No.
probably
Don't
frowned
name
upon in
them.
this
I'm
establishment.
not naming anything or anybody. It wasn't, well, yeah, okay. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, and I've had clients that have done that too, where they're like, "Hey, can I come to your office and can you just like show me on the computer?"
Just do it.
This happened a lot 10 years ago. Now, when people say like, "Oh, my buyers don't use email," I've literally said
Womp
this.
womp.
I'm just like, bullshit. Now, no offense to anybody, but like, don't use email or don't prefer email are two different things. So maybe we need to walk them through it. Maybe we need to help them. But yeah, I used to have people come to the office because they couldn't figure it out or they didn't want to. And it was like, well, just come to the office. You can log into your bank on my thing and we'll download it and print it at the office and I'll just hand it to the loan officer tomorrow. I actually have tax forms and W-2s from a client right now because he couldn't figure out how to like get them to the loan officer. And I was like, you just give them to me. I'll get them there.
Just let me do everything.
Yeah, I've met clients at like a mutual Starbucks and gather documents, or if like the office was far from them, and
Or Cali Tort, whatever works.
CalTort too. There we go.
Right? All right. Same game. What is a mortgage myth that you've heard from a client? Like real life story. I want to know.
You have to put 20% down.
Okay.
God dang it. Everybody's taking all my answers.
Well,
That was an easy one.
That was an easy one.
That was an easy one.
who said it? And you don't have to give their actual name, but like, what was the situation? And what did you tell them?
It was it might have been my client that I'm about to close with.
Okay.
Wednesday. She thought you actually had to put 20% down, and I had to explain to her it depends on your loan type. It depends on what you're coming to the table with. Kind of. So she really did think that she had to put 20% down.
She comes from a very traditional family, right? Like
Yeah.
very wealthy, very traditional. And so the idea of having something with mortgage insurance probably was just like, they never allowed that. So it wasn't so much like, oh, you have to. It was like, no, you have to. Like you're never going to not.
Yeah.
Right. And that becomes a myth that she doesn't know the answer to.
Well, I answered that for her, and she ended up doing cash. So
Voila. Solved.
Well, that's the
Problem
education
solved.
part too. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people don't
Yeah.
understand that you can put less than 20%. They're like, oh, I thought you had to. I'm like,
nope.
well, I don't know who told you that, but no, you don't.
Yeah.
And then you can go over different options with them. And if they have the 20%, which most of the time when people are saying that, they do.
Yeah.
It's like these people who were so misled didn't realize they could have bought a house 5 years ago.
Right. Oh, I wish I knew that before. And it's amazing how many people are working with realtors prior. Like, oh yeah, before I signed this lease, how long have you been in that house? Oh, 4 years. So since COVID, you've been living in this apartment. And why did you not buy? Oh, because the market was, oh, because I couldn't get like whatever their excuse was. And it's like, so your realtor didn't walk you through this? Like, you know that there's 0% down options out there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
Yeah.
them, especially, and only, right? Like if you get out of the city and you're buying in the county, there's a lot of good opportunities if you're buying in rural area, and you'd be surprised what rural area considers.
Do you think Southern Maryland would be
Yes.
rural area?
I think
Would you
Southern
really?
Maryland. Yes.
See, when I think of rural
USDA
area,
loan would be
I
Southern
would say
Maryland.
that Southern Maryland has definitely like had some good growth, but there's definitely areas in Southern Maryland that are USDA eligible.
what is the place that you were talking about?
Nanjamoy?
Yes.
Yeah, that's rural.
is
But
rural. That's what I think
I never
of.
even heard of that place at all.
Neither had I.
Exactly.
Neither had I. The story is that I was going to a listing appointment. It was a beautiful Saturday. It was like May, right? And I'm like, cool. And I have a convertible, love my car. So I'm driving. It's 2 hours from my house. So I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to drive. So I'm driving and I have my t-shirt on and I'm super comfortable and I'm getting close to the place. I'm thinking to myself, I'll just pull over at like a common Cali Tort or Starbucks or whatever and change into a nicer shirt, polo, whatever I was wearing. And I'm driving and I'm driving and I'm driving and I'm driving and I'm like 9, 10, 11 miles. And I haven't seen a house, a person, another car. And I'm like, well, let's just put the car in park. Park, get out of the car, change my shirt, put my shirt on, button, back in the car, start the car real quick. Like, don't see anybody. Kept driving for another like however many miles. Didn't see anybody. And then like popped up at her house. And she had a couple neighbors, but like,
Yeah.
So to answer your question, the USDA home loan covers rural area, but it
can't even
covers
say
a
that word.
lot. Rural?
Rural.
Rural.
See,
All right,
when I
Wabbit.
think of rural, I
Can't say
think
All right, Wabbit, go
I
back
cannot
home.
say it.
when I think of rural, I think of Nanjamoy, not
Rural.
Southern Maryland. But that's interesting to
say
know.
Girl, I bet
That's
you
good to
everything
know.
except Chesapeake Beach proper and Waldorf
Yeah, that's
is
very true.
considered rural in their world. And just so you know what we're talking about, you can buy with the USDA loan on a qualifying home with 0 down.
I'm doing one right now. Mount Airy.
Yeah, Mount Airy's the perfect place. In between Frederick and Westminster, all of it's rural.
That's pretty rural.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, you have to qualify, a little bit tougher restrictions, kind of like the VA or the FHA loan by comparison to the conventional, but still like 3% down conventional, 3.5% FHA. You don't have to put down $1 bajillion to buy a house.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that.
What is a mortgage myth that you've heard?
It kind of goes hand in hand with what you said, but thinking that you have to have over a 700 credit score,
Okay.
Yeah.
because you definitely don't.
What did you tell them?
I said you can have as low as 580,
That
right?
I think technically you can go down to
580
560.
depending on the
Technically,
grants.
it depends, one, the program, and two, like we've done in my company, we've done technically a client with no credit score at all.
What?
Oh, wow.
But you have to have like
See?
Mitigating.
certain things
Damn.
that like prove that you've had a rent payment for like 12 to 24 months and different trade lines for 12 to 24 months. But if you don't have a credit score, it's really mainly like the rent payment, utilities, things that don't show up on your credit report to show that you can make a payment for 12 months.
But also,
Wow.
like,
How do you
no
not?
credit is better than having bad credit.
Right?
Yeah. Well, how do you not have credit though? Like
No
that's
credit
crazy.
lines.
You just don't start.
You don't have any credit cards. You don't have a car loan. There's a lot of people
What do
that
their
pay for
parents
cars in
do
cash.
for a living?
Dude, I
There's
was
some
just talking
conspiracy
about this
theorists
the
out
other
there.
day.
Oh, that's a whole different animal.
That don't, I know people who like, I'm not getting credit. Like,
You know why? You know
Yeah.
people that say that?
why?
Because you're from Olney.
Well, the person I know that said that was in Ellicott City, but still, she was like, I'm not gonna. I pay my cars in cash. I
Yeah.
don't get any credit cards.
Lot
For
of
her,
people.
I guess.
Oh my God.
I mean,
I
that,
wish I was like
We
that.
we had a
Yeah. Too
late
we had a
for me.
client that we sold
that's
and
just
bought.
like not in my world. Like,
No. This woman sold and bought, tells me that she doesn't have email. I go through the same spiel. Like, come on, you have an email. She works at a company. Like, come on, you have an email. And she's like, I do. I just don't like to use it. So, of course, I like go out and meet her and do the signing thing, whatever. And when I walk through her house, she goes, oh, yeah. She literally uses the breaker panel as like shutting off power to outlets because she thinks that the power and the people and all the people will watching and like she shuts
What?
off all the breakers in her house.
What do you? Ow, that just made my head hurt.
Oh,
What do
yeah.
you
Wow.
mean by that?
Oh, she's a crazy one. Now I love her. Like she's really nice and she's sweet and she cares.
I
but
literally just
yeah,
had a brain
she's a crazy
aneurysm.
one.
wow.
There's a lot of people out there
Yeah.
that are like this. Now Dana did have credit, but still.
No bank accounts either. I'm guessing.
No.
Sticks cash
Oh,
in your mattress.
I did a loan for a guy that didn't have a bank account, and it was hard to prove his income or his
Cash.
savings, right? Because you need money to come. Even he was using Maryland Mortgage Program, so he needed $1,000. And there's another program, right? Like down payment assistance through Maryland Mortgage Program. You can come with as little as $1,000.
You can come with as little as, I mean, you can get your EMD back.
Right.
So you get seller credit, you get down payment assistance, and you put an EMD down to start, you can get it right back.
Yeah. Well, so Danny, he's like, cash bet, got you. I'm like, okay, cool, we got cash. Why don't you have a bank account? And he goes, man,
I mean,
I
get
keep
it.
that under my pillow. And I'm like, Danny. He's like, nah, for real. And so this dude Danny's probably like 66, 67 now. He's like in his 50s, buying his first house. Makes like, at the time, I think he made like $44,000. And so good for him, working his whole life. So his entire life is go to work, get off, come home, play games, go back to work, right? Like that's his entire life. And on Fridays, he got his paycheck and he walked to the check cashing spot every Friday and cashed his check. If you guys don't know, when you cash your check at a check cashing spot, they take like 8-9%. So like you get
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that you get like a $2,000 check and they take, $100, $200.
Dang.
Yeah. And so this dude for his whole life, check cashing spot, cash the check. So funny. One Saturday I was over there dropping off Peeps. We know this, right? Like
Peeps.
dropping off Peeps. And he goes, oh, tell me you're bringing Peeps, because he's one of the weird people that likes Peeps, whatever. And I go, oh, yeah, whatever. He's in his sweatpants with his flip-flops and his whatever. We're talking about stuff. He just bought a new car. Cool. And I go, Danny, tell me that you got a car loan for this car. And he's like, and I go, dude, did you at least put the money in the bank? And he goes like this. He goes, and pulls out a wad of money. Like he's just got a wad of money because it was Saturday morning.
Right.
He just went to the check cashing spot. Like this is how they live.
So how does he pay his mortgage?
I don't know.
No bank.
That's what I'm like. How do you pay for things?
I assume that his wife, Brandy, who is a saint, like structured it, got it all put together. But Danny still, and she came out on the porch, and I was like, he still doesn't have it. And she's like, don't get me started on him. Like, it's just their routine.
Yeah.
But people don't have credit because they don't believe in it. They don't need it. They just pay for cars. When that car breaks down, they buy a new one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I respect it though.
I mean, it's
for
hard
them.
work. What's your mortgage myth that people give you? Oh, crazy one. Come on. These girls took an easy one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would say a crazy one is, I mean, not like something that someone has given me, but I would say a crazy myth is, and I guess it's happened before because I had to convince people that it's okay, but that conventional is better than FHA. Because I would say
Interesting.
most of the time conventional is better than FHA, right?
Okay.
But it's always dependent on the borrower.
Okay.
So like the borrower could be really well qualified, like income, assets, reserves, but their credit could be 650. So why not get them a better rate, less mortgage insurance? Because their mortgage insurance is going to take a huge hit with the worst credit.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6 months to a year from now, if rates are better, or when rates do get better to a point where the payment is the same, you can refinance from FHA to conventional.
Yeah. Or you can be there for a short term, sell it, make your 30 grand and go buy with the conventional.
That's like one thing I just am like, and I will educate people on the FHA. I'm like, listen, based on your credit score, I recommend this just because your rate is going to be, if you have a 650 credit score, your rate's going to be almost 2% higher than what it would be conventional, or at least 1.5%.
Yeah.
So it's just for the borrower to have like a better sense of a lower payment. They can get in the home, and the only main restriction is like the appraisal can be a little bit more strict, but
Right.
that's like the main difference, I would say. And the guidelines are a little bit more strict.
I don't even find that as much anymore. Like I feel like we used to have that a lot, but I don't think it's become laxed. I just think that maybe people are taking better care of their houses. Right? Like maybe there's good things going on in the world pushing it forward. I don't know. That's
Maybe.
crazy.
Probably not.
I mean,
Depends.
I think it's really tough. I think a lot of the changes that we've made to the home improvement world have made a lot of improvements. I think a lot of people are not handy, so there's not as much like duct tape
Yeah.
holding things together. And I don't know. I think a lot of houses have been renovated in the last many years.
I agree with that, especially here in the city.
We just don't see as much like extraneous appraiser required repairs list. Like they're not a litany of things.
What's the most appraiser required repairs that you've seen in one?
We had one particular one that it was so bad that the buyer flipped lenders and like got a new. It was insane. It was like the appraiser was like had a vendetta for me or the listing agent. It was
I had
unbelievable.
one with like 20.
Yeah.
I have not seen that. I had a one with a good amount, but have you heard of like the Home Buyers of America or House?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so they bought this house in like Walkersville or something, and my buyer was buying it. Maryland Mortgage Program,
Yep.
FHA loan, and it was literally like they had bought it and put it on the market 60 days later. So, you know, when they sold it for more than 100% of what they bought it for, so you need 2 appraisals. And we had both needed inspections, but it was impossible to get them on the phone and help us out because their listing agent that they had, I guess they use the same listing agent.
For every property. Yeah.
I'd never talked to her once. Like I couldn't get her on the line. And then the one guy who was, I guess, representing it was in Florida. So he had no idea of what was going on. I'm like, trying to hit our timeline here. Let's go.
Yeah.
Was that listing agent also like their own broker?
It was like their own broker. Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
those.
Well,
There's one
I think
person I'm
the
thinking of
hardest
generally.
thing being a buyer in general is just being misled. And like we're all talking about, I guess, some of the myths and some of the problems and some of the challenges, but I also like sit at my open house this weekend and the buyer's like, oh man, but we need closing cost help. So like, I don't, and I go, what do you mean? They're like, well, we've gotten beat out and the other agents don't want to do it and blah, 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 blah. And I said this to a buyer. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I don't care. I said this to a buyer and I was like, do you ever feel like it's just, your agent and the other agent that just like ego play? Like they're both just working against each other. And they're like, yes. And in the back of my brain, I'm thinking like, why did you hire that agent? But I would never say that, right? But what I did say to them was, look, if you guys are interested in making an offer on this house, one thing that I can guarantee you is I am here for your success. 110%, I'm going to get the seller the best price, the most money, the best way that they need it. But if you don't buy it, I don't get paid. So like, just remember that like everything that I do is to help you. While the seller may give us pushback and push the number and push the envelope, my goal in talking to the seller is let's achieve your goals that you set out for. And then when we come back to you as a buyer, like we'll pay your closing costs. Like, do you need a bag of money in the basement? Like, do you need a new roof? Like, sure. I don't understand why there are so many people that think that, oh, well, my lender told me that I might not qualify for this house because it needs repairs. And I'm like, who cares? Right?
Yeah.
If someone has said that to them, that's crazy because it's like, well, I would say like that's the agent's job to go over the list of repairs and things like that.
But then agents don't know.
Yeah.
And that house that I was sitting in this weekend making that comment to, those sellers were buyers just a couple years ago, and I begged the listing agent, like, just go with me. Her name's Emily. I said, Emily, just please, just trust me. We'll make this work. Just have faith that we're going to get through this, because we do a lot of VA home loans. That's a thing that we do on our team. Like, don't run away from the VA loan. I don't know who's given you this fear. And the VA home loan, the only repair that they made was that the deck, which needed to be replaced, had some boards that were unsafe. Totally agreed. And the buyer agreed to fix them. Like, the buyer paid their contractor to come out and fix the decks before settlement. It's like, guys, that's nothing. And the listing agent wasn't even going to accept our contract because we were VA.
Yeah.
Come on. What are we talking about?
Because that's like, why would a veteran not do a VA loan when they have the one, serve our country, two, have the option to put 0% down just because it's a little bit more strict on the appraisal? Like, come on.
That's crazy.
That's the reason. That's like one of the best options for veterans to go with.
I agree.
That seems super illegal.
Well,
What she did.
It's definitely stigmatized,
Yeah.
and I understand from a listing agent's point of view. But even when I'm the listing agent, it's like, guys, bring me your Bitcoin transfer. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. Like, bring me your, grant program. Bring me your list of repairs. Like, I don't care. Now, you might have to pay for it, but like, if that's what you care about, give the seller $2,000 more. The seller makes the repairs that you want. Everybody's happy. But this idea that your agent and the listing agent are like getting into an argument or an ego play, to me, I feel like that's one of the things that people suffer from all the time.
I find that a lot with the middle-aged or older agents.
Okay. See, now we're
Now we're-
stigmatizing.
I wasn't even considering you
Flaming.
middle-aged. Oh, you were
Even worse.
No,
The fact that you're even assuming.
younger. I'm talking like 45, 50 up.
I don't think he thought that you were talking about
I
him.
was.
And
I
now you just
wasn't
did.
at all. I wasn't at all. But then he said that, so I was like, oh, I don't want him to think about
No.
this.
Can't stand all these
When I
old
was
people. No,
when I
that's
was
like-
younger in the business, I got really annoyed with agents saying like, "How long have you been in the business?" Like, it was annoying to me.
Seasoned.
And I'm like, I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So then I would go to these classes and I would get these accreditations and these certifications and these letters after your name,
Yeah,
I'm
like
a
the-
doctor, so that you could trust me. Just so I'd stop listening to them be like, how long have you been doing that? Long enough. Shut up, Karen.
Exactly.
They're just so overly seasoned.
Too seasoned.
You're so seasoned.
You're,
like,
you taste bad.
you think
overly
I'm just like a
seasoned.
bland piece of chicken, and you're just like
boiled
so
chicken.
delicious. And
Well, and I think, to your point, a lender should never tell a buyer, like, oh, you won't qualify for this. But I think what happens is a lot of lenders get exhausted. They want the 700 credit score, $900,000 move up buyer that's like refied with them 4 times and now they're buying this other thing or more, and then they don't want to deal with these people that are like only pre-approved at 350 and they want to buy a junker. It's like, you should be thankful that they're pre-approved at 350. Like, we're out here running around Baltimore for like 127,000. So,
yeah.
I think a lot of lenders just get burnt out and they just want to try and help, but their way of helping becomes, pushing the buyer away.
Right. Well, I'm
So.
26, so I just say yes to every buyer that wants to. So.
Do you want to buy for $1
Same.
million? Yes.
Yes.
I would love to do that. Hey, Nick, have you ever represented a buyer over $1 million?
I have.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
Have you ever done one for less than 150?
Yeah.
See?
108
Yes.
in Philadelphia.
In Philly. What states are you licensed in?
I'm licensed in 10 states. Ready?
Maryland.
DC, Virginia, Delaware, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia.
Couldn't even go anywhere fun. Like Connecticut, California,
Who's
Colorado.
going to Connecticut for fun?
Good
Oh,
call.
people that
rich
want to make
people.
money.
That's
Right.
rich people.
Right.
I forgot. Isn't that where like Hamptons and everything is?
Hamptons.
I think
is
That's
Hamptons is
New York.
Long Island.
But that's
Yeah.
that's that
That
same vibe.
genre of
there.
human. Yes, I get it.
That genre of
I
humans.
get it. Yeah, they're not coming to Baltimore for our,
No.
$108,000 transaction. Fun fact: I actually have a call with this buyer scheduled for right now, so I'm going to hop off. But he bought a house for $108,000, and just 2 or 3 years later, he sold it for like $138,000, which was great.
30 grand.
And they made, after the sale, they made the profit enough that they could put down on their $350,000 house. So it was like parlaying one first-time home buyer program into a lower down payment program. Maybe they used a 5% down, or maybe it was his girlfriend that bought the new house. Maybe that's how they did it. I don't remember. But like, it's just cool to see people that are really striving to be 108, 130, 350, and now we're going to be talking about something else, which hopefully will be more. But it's just exciting that if you never say no, you just open up opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
So super cool. Anyway, if you guys don't know, we have a home buyer event coming up. Do you know the date?
August 16th
Where?
in White Marsh.
Be more excited, maybe, please.
White Marsh. Woo!
Love it.
Saturday.
I'm
Woo.
hosting it, so I'm like, White Marsh.
White Marsh, don't come.
Grants and granola.
It is Grants and Granola. It's going to be at our EXP White Marsh office, which is right off of the avenue in White Marsh. You can't miss it. We'll make sure to have the link in the description to this podcast. And if you need anything, you can always reach out to me directly on our website at frankoliverco.com, or you can reach out to me on Instagram at michael.frank_____. Anyway. Or you can reach out to Marissa directly so that she can
Yeah.
get you the link.
Woo!
How would they reach you?
You can email me at marissa@frankoliverco.com, or you can DM me, Marissa the Realtor _ just too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was waiting. I was gonna go
Yes.
over here and touch them.
Oh,
What's
no.
that?
Yeah.
There you go.
What's the blue one?
Nothing.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh, I like this
Where-
one.
what's-
Mother.
Is
Yeah,
it-
right.
like that one.
Precisely.
is it-
I have a
okay,
full-time job.
There you go. Now that we're through all the sound bites, how can people reach out to you, Mykala, if they want to?
You can find me on Instagram at realtor.mykala, Mykala.
And, of course, Nick.
I mean, you can find me on Instagram, but I would just say give me a call.
Phone number?
240-743-9785.
But thank you, Nick, for being on
Yeah.
today. And we'll
Thank
see you guys real soon.
Yay.
Yeah.